On behalf of the faculty and staff, Golden Gate University School of Law, class of 2016, congratulations. What a tremendous accomplishment, and we are so proud of you. My name is Rachel Van Cleave, and I am honored to serve as the Dean of Golden Gate University School of Law. Thank you. It seems like just yesterday, and also so long ago, August 2013, when you began law school, or perhaps in 2012, for those of you who have been in the part-time evening program. When I welcomed you at orientation, we were inspired by the 34th America's Cup that was being held right here in San Francisco Bay. We spoke of three things: destination, legacy, and determination. We were inspired by this sailing race because the determination and focus of the competitors and the impressive legacy of the competition is truly spellbinding, as is the sheer grace and beauty of the ships. Destiny, legacy, and determination are just as relevant today, now that you have completed your JD. Destination: you charted your course by beginning your law career here at Golden Gate University School of Law 3 or 4 years ago. While completing your JD is a huge accomplishment, it is just one port of call as you continue toward your destination of becoming ethical and excellent attorneys and having fulfilling careers. You have learned much during your time at Golden Gate Law School. Many of you have engaged in pro bono work, I think probably all of you, since this graduating class in just this past year has performed 7,400 hours of pro bono legal services. Many of you have assisted clients with employment, environmental, or veterans benefits issues here on campus. And in cases, many of you have also worked in externship placements with judges, public defenders, city attorneys, district attorneys, or nonprofit organizations. You have taken advantage of one of Golden Gate Law's tremendous strengths: practical, client-centered experiences and training. You appreciate the power of lawyers to build a better world. And just as ancient mariners kept lodestars to maintain true north, keep ideas of justice and equality as your guide in shaping a better world. Legacy. At orientation, I encouraged you to remember your point of origin, those who have come before you, both in your personal and professional lives. This is an effective way to ground yourself and to embrace the responsibility that you have to continue to build on the accomplishments of those who have come before you. Each of you has histories in your families and in your own lives that humble you and that remind you of the importance of hard work and that help you navigate through turbulent or uncertain times. Remember these stories. Use your legacy as you move toward your future, and call upon the people in your lives who have been there for you along the way. In fact, let's warmly applaud your family and friends who are here, who have supported you. And in addition, let's thank your professors and the staff who have been with you along the way through law school. Determination. You were just beginning law school and were probably a little overwhelmed to really pay attention to the America's Cup race. But Team Oracle was losing to Emirates Team New Zealand 8 races to 1. Yet after each loss, the team captain, Jimmy Spithill, would stand up tall, face reporters, and say, "We're not finished. I believe in my team, we're going to make adjustments, and we are going to win." They took each race as it came, tacking their course as needed. They remained determined to capture the cup. Indeed, Team Oracle's comeback was the greatest feat in sailing history. They won 8 straight races to win the cup. You have shown the same kind of determination in arriving at today's port of call, but your journey still lies in front of you, and this same determination will ensure that you will accomplish your goals. During your time at Golden Gate Law School, I know you have experienced great successes and achievements, and there are times when you haven't. But you've picked yourself up, dusted yourself off, made adjustments, and moved forward, and you're here today. And we have and continue to believe in you. In the words of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who loved sailing, to reach a port, we must set sail, sail, not tie at anchor, sail, not drift. You've reached this port, and you are ready to set sail for the next one. It has been an honor that the faculty, staff, and I share to have been a part of this intense and transformative experience with you. We look forward to having you join us as lawyers, as colleagues, and learning about all of your accomplishments. Congratulations. And now it is my great honor to introduce to you the president of Golden Gate University, Dr. David Fike, to congratulate you on behalf of the entire Golden Gate University community. President Fike joined Golden Gate University in August, and we have very much enjoyed working with him and appreciate his engagement with and support of the School of Law. Join me in welcoming Dr. Fike.
Thank you, Rachel. Trustees, deans, faculty, staff of the law school, distinguished guests, family and friends, and most importantly, the candidates. It is my distinct honor and privilege to welcome you to the 2016 commencement ceremony for the law school. It's wonderful to be here together and to celebrate your terrific accomplishments, the class of 2016. And I say that with great sincerity. As Rachel just mentioned, this is my first year as president of the university, and therefore it is my first law school commencement. And I say it with great sincerity, this honor that I feel to be able to welcome you, because 52 years ago, almost exactly to this day, my father graduated from Golden Gate Law. And so in his honor, and in honor of all those that have gone before us and before you all, we invoke those who have come before us. And we recognize the many that this great institution will serve in this noble profession going forward. Now, you may notice that when I mentioned in welcoming you all here that I referred to you all as candidates. You are not yet graduates. I'm sorry, but that's the law. That will happen later. But your accomplishments today we do know, and we know that they are the results of a great deal of hard work. I'm sure with the many sacrifices along the way, you all justifiably feel proud to be sitting before your friends, family, and supporters, basking in the celebration of today. Many of you I know have juggled competing obligations while attending the law school, and whether that is work or family, caregiving, or support for others, what is common to all of you, our candidates, is the fact that you put your education as a top priority. And today, we will applaud your tenacity and your perseverance, as well as your accomplishments. As Rachel said, or Dean Van Cleave said, the accomplishment is the result of much support, and we are justifiably thankful to the many family and friends who have helped you along the way and are able to be with us today. I've also like to recognize, as Rachel has, the staff of the law school, and of course the faculty who we have applauded. And I would like to, just before concluding my remarks, recognize another very important group of individuals who work very hard behind the scenes to make Golden Gate University a better place. They do it without pay and purely out of a love for the school, its mission, and its students. It is our Board of Trustees. And I would like to take a moment to recognize 3 trustees who are able to be with us today. First, Rosemary Martin. Second, although officially ending his term very recently, was able to be with us, and he is here in the audience celebrating because his daughter is graduating in the class of 2016, Chip Conradi and his family. And the third, it is my honor to invite to the podium to greet you as well, Mark Burton, the class of 1995 JD, graduate of the Golden Gate Law School. Mark Burton.
Thank you, President Fike. Good morning. On behalf of the Board of Trustees of Golden Gate University, I'd like to welcome everyone to the Law School's 2016 commencement ceremony. The board congratulates not only the graduates, but of course all the family and friends, and I'm sure we'll hear a lot about that today. We'd also like to thank and congratulate the Dean Van Cleave and the faculty for another great job of shepherding through another class of students. As you prepare to walk the stage today, I hope you remember not just the friends and family that are here to support you and that have supported you in recent times, but remember that there's a long chain of people that supported those friends and family, people you might not have ever met before in your entire life. Anyone's success takes a very long chain of contributions from others in order to accomplish what you've accomplished here today and what you're setting out to accomplish in your lives. So as you walk across the stage, remember that you will become part of that chain of people that will support people that you will never even meet by what you do and the contributions you make not only to yourself, your family, your friends, but also to us as a society, the university. I also want to just remind you that as you go out into the world, that now is not the time to cut back from taking risks. You took a lot of risks just coming to law school and trying to complete this mission, which you've done. But now go out into the world and take additional risks. Don't be afraid. Risk all that you can in order to fulfill the dreams of what you want to accomplish. Again, congratulations to the class of 2016.
Thank you, Mark, for your leadership and for those warm words to our graduates. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you GGU Alumni Association President Steve Morgan. Steve Morgan graduated from Golden Gate University in 1990 with an MBA in management. Steve is one of those hundreds, maybe more, Golden Gate graduates who earned his degree while on a military base when Golden Gate offered courses on military bases around the country. He earned his BS in business from West Virginia University. He was a financial consultant with Washington Mutual and is currently a financial advisor with New York Life Insurance Company. As president of the Alumni Association since last year, Steve is working to build relationships among all Golden Gate University alumni, and I have enjoyed getting to know him while I have been dean. Please join me in welcoming Steve Morgan.
Well, good morning. On behalf of Golden Gate University Alumni Association and more than 11,000 alums in the law and an additional 70,000 alums that circle the globe, congratulations on a job well done and welcome to our community. You've worked hard to make this happen, and while today may feel like the end of a journey, know that it is only the beginning of a far greater one. We anticipate celebrating with you many more times in your life, for you are the legacy of GGU Law, and the university will be forever proud of your accomplishments. We also look forward to working with you to ensure inspiration, and access to quality legal education for generations of law students behind you. So stay close. In the words of Immanuel Kant, and before I quote this man, how many of you know who he is? Really? Good for you. Because I didn't. Don't let this robe kid you. I was a business guy. But he's a German philosopher born in 1724. You can find anything on Google these days. So the quote is, live your life as though your every act were to become a universal law. Let me read that again. Live your life as though your every act were to become a universal law. So tonight, when you're celebrating with your favorite beverage, or maybe this afternoon, or maybe some of you have already started, remember that quote. It's pretty deep as far as I'm concerned. But thank you again, and from a dad of 3 adult children, and I'm sure your family will tell you the same thing. Regardless of what you do with your life and where it takes you, be happy. Congratulations.
Thank you, Steve. Each year, the graduating class selects a speaker from the student body to represent graduates at commencement. It is my pleasure, I'm going to save the name for last, just because I know what's going to happen, to introduce to you our graduate who is earning his JD today, and he will speak on behalf of both the graduate law and JD classes of 2012, Leoangelo Cristobal.
Oh boy. It's been a wild ride, hasn't it? Yup. Law school has a funny way of sneaking up on you like that. One minute you're sitting in your civil procedure class, you're confused. You're wondering why Professor Zamperini is constantly shooting you and your classmates down for every answer that you give. And then the next, you're sitting here, just moments away from receiving your degree. Now, we have SJD, LLM, and JD students who are graduating today. And I'm confident that I can speak for many of you when I say that these past 3 to 4 years have simultaneously been the best and most challenging years of our lives. Kudos to challenges. We've gained friends and allies throughout our time here that hopefully we'll have forever. We've learned that spotting issues and thoughtful analysis are always more important than drawing conclusions. But law school didn't just test the elements of negligence. Law school tested how much fight we had in us. It played on our insecurities. It challenged our mental fortitude. It forced us to evaluate our relationships and understand who and what really mattered to us. We all knew law school would be tough. But none of us truly knew we'd be performing such a delicate balancing act. And that's why I can't stress enough how important it's been for us to have mentors, role models, and a community, especially the one that we have here at Golden Gate University. that has helped us along every step of our journey. Ultimately, the purpose of a speech shouldn't be about recognizing the accomplishments of a single individual. Rather, it should recognize that in the most significant moments of our lives, there's always somebody to thank. There's always gratitude to be given to those who have helped us reach our goals. So, thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you all. Thank you to the entire faculty. Thank you to all of the staff. Thank you to all of our beautiful families that have come here to celebrate with us today. Thank you to Jesse Conradi. Thank you to all of our friends who have taken a day off from work and have come to celebrate with us. It is because of each and every single one of you sitting in this place right now, and even some of you that couldn't make it today, it is because of you all that these graduates are where they are now. And for that, we truly can't thank you enough. Finally, to the candidates. No matter what you all decide to do with your law degrees, remember that this degree is a privilege, and it comes with a great deal of responsibility. The law touches everything. Because of that, we have the power to impact every aspect of our society, and we have the opportunity to bring positive changes to the world around us. So, don't just do well. Let's all remember to do some good, too. Thank you.
As you know, Golden Gate Law School has a proud tradition of graduating strong legal practitioners, committed and hardworking attorneys who truly appreciate the impact of their work. In keeping with this tradition, I am happy to introduce to you our 2016 commencement speaker, the District Attorney of Alameda County, the Honorable Nancy O'Malley. Okay. Nancy O'Malley graduated from Golden Gate Law School in 1983 and began practicing as a district attorney in Alameda County almost immediately. As a deputy district attorney, she was appointed district attorney of Alameda County in 2009 and was elected unopposed in 2010. Throughout her career, Nancy has earned a strong reputation as a human rights advocate and as an innovative leader in the legal profession. Because time is short and her accolades and awards are vast, I will try to do her justice by naming a few. Recognizing the burden placed on the victims of violent crime, Nancy created the Restitution Program, which ensures that victims are duly compensated once the accused has been found guilty. In the last decade, the Restitution Unit has obtained more than $125 million in direct restitution orders for both victims and for the state of California, which spends the funds on behalf of victims. Nancy also created the Alameda County Family Justice Center, which provides victims of domestic violence and human trafficking with legal, health, housing, psychological, and other support services under one roof so they can regain control of their lives. In addition, to innovative programs designed to combat identity theft, real estate fraud, truancy, and environmental violations by businesses, Nancy is known for leading California's fight against human trafficking. She developed Alameda County's Human Exploitation and Trafficking Unit, which prosecutes traffickers, and has taken the novel approach of providing a guide for prosecutors, police service providers, and communities to unite in the fight against human trafficking. This program is the first of its kind in California and the first to operate within a prosecutor's office in the U.S. It is a true model for communities around the country. Nancy O'Malley has served as the president of the California Women's Lawyers Association, and she will be the first DA in the country to ever earn the American Bar Association's esteemed Margaret Brent Women Lawyers of Achievement Award in August during their annual meeting here in San Francisco. She has also been honored with the Lois Haight Award of Excellence and Innovation from the U.S. Congressional Victims' Rights Caucus, the Susan B. Anthony Award by the National Women's Political Caucus, and District Attorney of the Year Award by Crime Victims Action Alliance, just to name a few. Just as importantly, Nancy O'Malley is a model litigator exercising both leadership and humility, and this has helped the Alameda County District Attorney's Office remain one of the most reputable in the country, a reputation earned by former Alameda DA, who then became U.S. Supreme Court Chief Justice Earl Warren. We are delighted to have her here with us today and to share her wisdom with her new colleagues and new fellow alumni. We'll get to that technicality soon. I must also tell you about other members of the O'Malley family who earned their JDs at Golden Gate Law School. Retired Judge the Honorable William O'Malley, class of 1961, the Honorable Mary Ann O'Malley, class of 1985, and Deputy District Attorney of Alameda County, Colleen Clark, Nancy's niece, class of 2014. On a personal note, I have very much enjoyed getting to know Nancy and remain truly impressed with her vision, leadership, and her pride in the education and training she received at Golden Gate Law School. Please join me in warmly welcoming District Attorney Nancy O'Malley.
Thank you. To President Fike, thank you for reminding us how the law impacts all of us, even up to the last minute. To the Board of Trustees, to Dean Van Cleave, my dear friend, faculty and staff, and most importantly, to all of you, the graduates of 2016. Good afternoon. Well, here you are all dressed in black, and if you're anything like I was back in 1983, I bet that at some point in your law school career, you wondered whether you would ever be sitting in this seat. And yet, here you are. And the characteristics that Dean Van Cleave talked about, and the comments made by Leoangelo about what it took for you to get here today are so true. And I can assure you that all of those attributes that were mentioned are what will lead you into a very successful career as you start the practice of law, or you use your law degree to help you in other ways. We all know how hard you worked because, of course, there's no dialing it in when it comes to learning the intricacies of the law. And as was said before, nobody gets through law school alone. To all of your family members, to all of your friends who supported you as you went through this process, we thank them. And to all of you here in the audience, congratulations to you because this is your day as well. You made it through their law school years. So once again, let's just applaud our family and friends. And to the family and friends who are here, I'm guessing that you remember the moment when asking a question became cross-examination, when making a point became an argument to the Supreme Court, and when sharing a story became an opening statement. Ah, the life of a law student. But law students no more. So I do congratulate you personally, and as a fellow, you soon-to-be alum, I congratulate you on all of your significant achievement, and those 3, or for some 4 rigorous years in this fine institution. The years that have been filled with academic enrichment, collaboration, and friendships. And I hope that you look back on these days at Golden Gate with fondness, with respect, with gratitude, and with reverence. Thank you for letting me share this momentous day with you as you take that next exciting step called your future. So in preparing for today, I was kind of strolling down my own memory lane to when I too sat in the seats where you are now as a graduate of Golden Gate University School of Law. The lessons I learned here and the connections I made have enriched me as a lawyer, as a community leader, as a prosecutor, and for sure, as a human being. In those halls, I learned about hard work. I learned about time management and how to survive and even thrive under pressure and adversity. I learned from the best instructors, sought guidance from trusted advisors, and stretched myself in ways that prepared me for what I would face as I grew in my career. And I would not change that for anything. And I know that for each and every one of you here, you've had the same experiences as I. And that is how it will be for you. The friendships I made then are friendships I have now. And as Leoangelo said, that we may practice different types of law, and some don't practice law at all, but we share a common bond. And we share a bond not only as professionals, but as friends who have had unique training and learned skills that are vital to our civilized society. Okay, so civilized is a relative term, and I'm just going to say, if you've watched the Race to the White House, you know what I'm talking about. But in fact, we all share a commitment to help others, and I will congratulate you all on the number of pro bono hours that you've done in this last year. That is absolutely remarkable. So from me to you, I applaud you for that. But we also commit to making a positive contribution to society, so it's a better place for everyone. As you heard, I graduated from GGU in 1983, but GGU is in my blood. And I will tell you that, that for my family, there is a great affinity for this school. Not just because we all went here. There are a bunch of other kids that didn't go to law school and didn't go here. But we all had our reasons why we chose Golden Gate University to be our school of law. Becoming a member of the legal profession still is the most noble of ideals. It presents change and status for you because you have earned the right to be the voice for others. It gives you the opportunity to achieve in a field that is still the embodiment of the American dream. I don't use that phrase lightly, and we should not take for granted that these United States, if one chooses to work hard, stay focused on one's goals, and perseveres, a legal education is within one's grasp. A law school education is not limited to entitled social classes or income levels or specific gender or ethnic groups. And as I look out at you, at this group of graduates today, I'm proud that Golden Gate University School of Law is the embodiment of that American dream. So I'll tell you very quickly, my dad, when he decided to go to school here, he was working in San Francisco. They were about to have their 7th child right before he graduated, good Irish Catholic family. And he attended school when Golden Gate University was in the old YMCA. And he went to law school because he wanted to better his career, to have more opportunities, to earn more money, thankfully, as my mother said, but really to make his mark on society. Becoming a lawyer for him would be a practical means by which he could grow in his leadership and in his salaries, and he was the humble, hardworking man of Irish immigrants, so the thought of going to law school, let alone college, was unique to him. And Golden Gate University gave him that opportunity. It's not a paper chase school where the students eat their own. It's a school that provides support and well-being and worries and cares and helps their students. For me, I chose Golden Gate University because of its diversity and its commitment to take on controversial topics that other schools were just not open to having students vocalize or verbalize. And yet, at Golden Gate University, we took on a lot of challenges: women's rights, equal rights, rights of LGBT. It was a fantastic school, and in my class, there were 50% women, where other law schools were still struggling with getting between 2 and 10% women in their class. And for my niece, who graduated in 2014, she came to Golden Gate University because she knew that she would get an academically strong education, and quite uniquely, as Dean Van Cleave said, that it's an education that is integrated into the real world, giving its students the real-life experiences with professors who have lived and worked in the real world. You have no idea what a gift that is that you have been given by being at this school. And when you grow in your career and you go and meet other people, you will just realize, and this is a place where the reverence comes in, just how special the school is and how lucky you were to be here. So it may not occur to you today, but when you look back, you're going to be thankful of how GGU has responded to the national discussion of how law schools engage and educate their students. And I know that the school has implemented several efforts, including the 1L electives, the 1L coaching, clinics, linking students with practitioners. All of that has prepared you to go out into the real world and build your successful and significant career. So when your friends heard you were going to be a lawyer, did anyone tell you a lawyer joke? Well, some attempt to make fun of lawyers, that we're money grabbers, or we're heartless, or we're aggressive, painting us as sort of a Better Call Saul type lawyer. I forget, you guys don't have time for television. That's a TV show? Yeah. But lawyer jokes aside, let me say that our society would not survive without lawyers. Every aspect of our society is affected by the legal system, and you are drivers of that system. From signing a contract to resolving family issues to protecting the rights and lives of those accused of crimes and the victims impacted by crimes, to upholding a woman's right to choose or to have access to reproductive health, or alternatively, taking it away, to allow persons of all ethnicities and genders to attend the same schools and doing away with antiquated political structures that used to be called separate but equal, which was anything but equal. But at the core of upholding basic human rights and challenging bad laws or bad policies are lawyers. Those trained in the law, all of you, soon to be. Those people sat in chairs just as you are now, and it's no joke when someone has a legal issue and needs help. It's no joke when society needs help and strong leadership. And while not every effort lawyers make are monumental ones, they reinforce the mortar that strengthens the bricks, the foundation upon which we all live in a strong, free society. So to be clear, graduates, you are joining a profession that has important responsibilities to society, and a profession which plays an important role in the lives of others. And for some, it is the most important role in that individual's life. Practice your profession with dignity, with honor, and especially with integrity. There's no case for that is worth lying for. There's no case worth cheating for. Your word is your bond, and your reputation begins the day you present yourself as an attorney in the state of California. What your education has given you, as it did me and thousands of other proud GGU graduates, are the analytical skills to assess situations, to learn and understand the law that applies to situations, and to use your strong advocacy skill and training to bring your side to conclusion. You've acquired immense skill, discipline, and knowledge, and now comes the time to put it into practice, both for yourself and for others, for those who need you, for the communities in which you live. I learned a lesson early in my career as a young lawyer. I was at a party, someone said, "Oh, you're a lawyer. Geez, my fence line is wrong and I need to get it moved, and can you tell me what I'm supposed to do?" and blah, 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 blah. So I sort of stupidly tried to answer his questions at a cocktail party. And then I realized Big mistake. So here's my advice to you. If somebody asks you at a cocktail party or a barbecue or any place else for free legal advice, don't give it. It doesn't mean you have to charge when you have clients, but we're responsible in that when we speak, people listen. And when we give them advice, they often take it. So if you're not up on that area of law, or you're in a casual moment, don't be caught by somebody who's trying to get something from you that really would require you to do more, to practice your trade. So you now have a reason to say, I'm sorry, I don't talk about law when I'm at a party. I think maybe some of you don't even know your full potential yet, but I'm standing here, as are all of your professors and other people on the stage, and I'm looking at all of you because we know that you are the leaders of tomorrow. And being a lawyer isn't just about making money, it's about who you are in your community and what you bring to the table. And when I look out at all of you, I'm energized because I see your full potential and I see the power in this room. And in each and every one of you, I remember at my graduation, Bernard Wickens spoke, and he said, be leaders. I thought about that and said, I don't know what he's talking about. But I didn't care because it was graduation, right? But here I am today challenging you to be strong leaders that you are. Look inside of yourself, have a voice, and use that voice. It's a powerful voice in society, and use it for good. And don't forget to have a rear view mirror. Everyone needs a rear view mirror. As Leoangelo said, nobody does this alone. But when you look back in a year or 2 or 3 or 10 or 30 for me, that look back to see who's behind you and make sure that you're opening doors for people who will someday be sitting in your seat. Make sure that you give good, sage advice to those people coming up behind you and help them build the bright future that people are helping you to build. And be thankful to those who helped along the way. You'll have many opportunities placed in your path, and you never know which one is the right one for you. So you can look at your own personality to see what that might look like. For me, I was raised in a big family, kind of a smart aleck in school. My parents would joke that they didn't know if I was going to go to prison or to become a leader. Thankfully, I became the leader. But I was fortunate in my life, as many of you had, and what Dean Van Cleave did referenced, and that is to have some life-changing experience or some experience in your life that brings you to this place that you can factor into how you're going to be as an advocate for people. And that is, for me, I am a cancer survivor. And it was at that point in my life when I was able to define the kind of life I wanted to lead, a life of service, a life of helping others, a life of using the loud voice that my nuns hated, but other people loved, and a life of fighting for others who had lost their fight or maybe never had it. And I realized that when those opportunities fell into my path because of my personality and the values that I declared for myself, that it didn't really matter what type of law I practiced, because those were my core values. So I say to you that as you reflect on who you are in this world and what you're going to do with your law career, to identify for yourself your core values and your commitments and have those with you at all times. You have a powerful voice, so speak up. Be the voice for others. Engage. Challenge the status quo. You will be proud of your accomplishments, big and small, because they will be yours, born out of a great education, born out of a commitment to society and to people, and being true to yourself in the process. Dean Van Cleave mentioned a few of accomplishments that have occurred, and I'll tell you, I'm sharing this with you to really reference that for you sitting there now, you may not appreciate just how big your life can be. And I was sitting in your seat thinking, didn't know how big my life could be. And so I worked hard, as you did, and I worked harder, and I worked harder again. And I can assure you that in law school, your professors recognize the hard work. In your career, people will recognize hard work. And when you work hard and you're prepared, when those opportunities come in your path, you'll be ready to take the leap. And I urge you, take that leap. For me, one small example I will share is that we have in this country a backlog of untested sexual assault kits that have been sitting in police evidence rooms for years. Some say up to 500,000 that have never been tested. So it's an issue that I started working on in my own county out of my commitment to serve others and to make sure our government was held accountable and that people who are entrusted with these types of issues are doing their job. Well, it all really starts in Washington, D.C., so I had the opportunity to meet the new FBI director when he came to San Francisco to meet his new troops. And I was one of a bunch of people in a room, mostly cops. And he said, after he finished telling us about himself, he said, "Enough about me. What's going on out here in San Francisco?" And I looked around the room with all these police chiefs and said, "I have something to talk about, and that is the untested rape kits that are sitting in police evidence room." And from that bold move that I took, that you all will have opportunities to take, we now have over $125 million to test all those kits out of evidence rooms. And that's justice. And that's justice. And that's taking your training, being prepared, working hard, and then when you see your shot, take it. And that knocking on the door is not a branch banging on the wall because it's windy. That's opportunity knocking at your door. Evaluate it, and if it's in your path, and if it's what you want to do, go for it. Let me just conclude or wind down by saying I'm very proud of my own career and my law school here, my education, and the work that I've done. I'm very proud to be standing in front of you as one of you. It's our mission at times, even when we don't know it, to ensure that we are challenging the status quo, or at least evaluating it, to make sure it's fair and just. And each of you has within your grasp the power to change the paradigm of society, as Leoangelo said, to be the leaders in a political arena, to be a political force to where you can transform our cultures. So let me impart to you my hopes for your direction and your destination, and my challenges to you, and especially my confidence in each of you to create a reality out of your dreams, your own Family Justice Center or initiatives that help change the culture of America, or simply what you're doing to help your community. What I hope for you as you progress in life, blessed as you are with an education and knowledge, is make a difference. Commit some of your time to projects that benefit others, or to pursue public service, or to help guide nonprofits. You're already in the track for that with your pro bono work that you've done in your law school career. Don't stop now. The world needs you. Use your skills and experience to enrich the lives of others, to help lift up those in our community, to speak out for those who don't have a voice, just like those words of a young president in 1961 who inspired my dad when he was in law school in the same year. And the quote is, "Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country." And those words were uttered by John F. Kennedy, who was president at the time. The very words challenge each American, and I challenge each of us here today to contribute actively in making this nation better. We need help, and we need smart, trained, committed people just like you to carry that torch forward. We are a nation of people with great ingenuity, determination, and skill, and yes, conflict. And it is in that place where we as lawyers, and I'm just going to break the rules, President, you as lawyers will stand tall with all of us, owning the responsibility we accepted when we accepted the degree as a JD degree and an LLM degree. Stand tall, stand strong, and stand in the forefront. Whether you devote your life to public service or private practice or don't practice law at all, embrace this and develop your skills, your strengths, and your talents, and honor your power and use it responsibly and with integrity. One of my favorite phrases is, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. Now, that may lack the eloquent phrasing of the famous philosophers of ancient Greece, but it does highlight, and I hope for each and every one of you graduates, that you need to participate in order to be heard, and that this is relevant for your professional life as it is for your personal life. Show up, participate. You are creating change, solving problems, enhancing society, and your communities as well. I hope you, like I, want to be the lead of that change. Find your seat at the table and make sure you're not on the menu. And what comes from this moment as you sit here in your robes and cap is that you are the one to chart your own path in the world. So be deliberate about your choices. See your errors not as failings, but as opportunities to learn. Keep an eye out for injustice, speak for the voiceless, never stop learning, make room for your passions, for whatever drives you, and importantly, don't fall into that trap that your job defines you. You define you, and your job is a manifestation of who you are. As I look out at the sea of your eager, bright eyes before me, I wish to impart one final nugget of truth, and that is this. Your life will pass in the blink of an eye, so make it count. As the great statesman and President Abraham Lincoln said, in the end, it's not the years in your life that count, it's the life in your years. And in the most positive way, I will say, I wish you a lifetime of mistakes from which you will learn and grow to be the best that you can be. I also wish you much happiness and success. Never stand still. Remember that knock, knock, knock is not a branch hitting the window in the wind. It's opportunity, so open the door. And in conclusion, it is my honor to be with you today. I welcome you into our profession. Your success is in your hands. And remember this, no matter the type of law you practice or how you choose to live your life, you have the great responsibility to uphold and adhere to a strict code of ethics, of honesty, and of truthfulness in your profession. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you so much. We now move to the awards portion of the ceremony. Each year, our graduating students, I'm just going to keep saying graduating, we'll fix the technicality, vote to identify the one professor among all those who taught them at Golden Gate Law School who was their most inspirational instructor. Their choice represents a teacher whom they believe not only effectively conveyed the substance of the law and its context and practical application in the real world, but one who also possessed the artistry to be able to pass that on to the next generation of distinguished lawyers. Above all, our students select the professor who has most instilled in them a love of the law. The Robert Calhoun Award for Outstanding Professor is named in recognition of our Professor Bob Calhoun, who retired last year and who was the recipient of this award 11 times. I am excited to announce that this year's recipient of the Robert Calhoun Award is Professor Michele Benedetto Neitz. This is the 4th year Professor Neitz is receiving this award. She teaches business associations, professional responsibility, and poverty law. I assure you, family and friends, she is not receiving this award for the 4th time because she is an easy grader or isn't very demanding of her students. What is great is that the majority of the graduating class selected Professor Neitz because she demonstrates how much she cares about their learning and about their development as excellent and ethical attorneys by challenging them every single day to be better because she knows that they can. Please join me in congratulating Professor Michele Benedetto Neitz, our 2016 Calhoun Award recipient. This time, I invite my colleague, Professor William Gallagher, Associate Dean for Faculty Scholarship, to present the Jesse W. Carter Award for Faculty Scholarship.
I'm delighted to be able to award the Jesse W. Carter Award for Faculty Scholarship today. This award is named after Jesse Carter, who is a 1913 graduate of the Golden Gate University School of Law. He also served with great distinction for over 20 years as a justice on the California Supreme Court between 1939 and 1959, where he was known as the lone dissenter because of his many courageous dissenting opinions, many of which were later vindicated on behalf of civil liberties, civil rights, and the rights of working people. So today it's my honor to confer the 2016 Jesse W. Carter Award for Faculty Scholarship to Professor Paul Stanton Kibel. Just a couple of words. Professor Kibel's recent scholarship is on a very timely subject to those of us who live in California. It's water law and water law rights. His scholarly work deals not only with California water law issues, but also national water law issues and even international water law issues. And I'll give you just a couple of examples to give you a taste of his scholarship. Professor Kibel's a recent law review article entitled Sea Level Rise, Saltwater Intrusion, and Endangered Fisheries explores important issues relating to Governor Brown's proposed creation of water tunnels in California. Professor Kibel also has a recent article dealing with national water law issues, which examines how the Federal Power Act can be used to reduce the adverse environmental impact of dams. And then one international example, Professor Kibel has also been commissioned to write a chapter for a forthcoming United Nations publication, a book called The Greening of Water Law. So even as these brief examples perhaps suggest, Professor Kibel brings a perspective to his scholarly work that is deeply informed by his over 20 years of practice in the field of water law and water law rights. And so his work speaks not only to scholars and law professors, but it also speaks to others working in this important area of law, including lawyers and others working in water resources and fisheries law. And so please join me in congratulating Professor Kibel as being our 2016 Faculty Scholarship Award recipient. Congratulations, Paul. I'm so tempted to quote somebody, since we've had such excellent quotes here tonight, but I'm not going to. But at this time, I will invite Professor Helen Kong, my colleague, to present the first of our student awards, the J. Lonnie Bader Award.
The J. Lonnie Bader Award for Academic Excellence is presented to the top-ranked JD student in the 2016 graduating class. This award is named for our former dean and colleague, Professor Lonnie Bader, who contributed much to the law school and to the San Francisco legal community through his practice of arbitration. We sadly lost him last year, and this year's award winner is Sara F. Dudley. Sara, please come forward. I'm honored to have the privilege and pleasure of presenting this prestigious award to many peace to Sara. Sara exemplifies the ambitions and the accomplishments of this graduating class, whom we were so privileged and fortunate to nurture and to teach. These motivated students not only collected academic accolades, but they did much more, and Sara collected more than most. They responded to the calling for public service, a calling that distinguishes our profession by devoting innumerable hours to pro bono projects, to serve the most vulnerable segments of our society. They stood with the veterans as they came home from war-torn countries when they were denied benefits. They stood with low-wage workers when they were denied just wages. And they stood with the homeless when they needed us the most. And in this country where the wealth disparities are increasing, they need us more than ever. In Sara's case, she worked in our on-campus environmental law and justice clinic on one of the most ambitious and largest and eventually successful cases to clean up agricultural pollution. Without this case, we would face a certain future of undrinkable water polluted by nitrates and pesticides. So thank you, and to all of the students who worked on this case. And she worked throughout law school. Most of the time, she nearly worked full-time while she was going to school nearly full-time. And she became a proud mother to her beautiful Austin while going to law school. She was, by the way, the only breastfeeding mother in the National Animal Law Competition, where she was a finalist. And in the topic called legislative lobbying or legislative drafting and lobbying, how exciting for us nerds. She demonstrated her academic nimbleness also by writing a scholarly article, which is soon to be published in our law journal, and it's sure to change the way campuses throughout the nation conduct investigations of sexual assaults to protect victims. And I want to mention that our California Supreme Court cited 2 articles from the California, or from our law journals this year in their decisions. And I hope that Sara's decision or article becomes one of those articles that the California Supreme Court and other courts around the nation cite as they protect victims. But these are not the only reasons that I really value Sara. I value her as a person. She is passionate about her dreams, so much so that she and her husband made significant sacrifices so that she could pursue her dreams of becoming a lawyer to advocate for animal rights. Thank you, Sara, so that we could all watch cute animal videos and waste a lot of time. Sara, on behalf of the faculty and staff of Golden Gate University School of Law, I am pleased to present you with this award. Congratulations. Do we pose? Now I invite Professor Eleanor Lumsden to present the Rose Elizabeth Byrd Award.
The Rose Elizabeth Byrd Award is named after the late California Chief Justice and one-time visiting professor at Golden Gate. This award is presented to the graduating JD student who best exemplifies professionalism and integrity. Faculty members nominate graduating JD students, and the members of the graduating class ultimately select the recipient for this award. I am pleased to announce that we are presenting the 2016 Rose Elizabeth Byrd Award to Leoangelo C. Cristobal. Leo, please come forward. First, I want to acknowledge and salute Leo's family. Leo told me that there were over 40 family members who were planning on attending today. Hey, family. I know that you are responsible for supporting Leo throughout his journey, and I am sure that your love must have factored into his ultimate success. It has been so wonderful watching, don't look at me, you're gonna make me cry. It has been so wonderful watching Leo develop throughout his law school career. I like to joke that Leo's class, all of you, were my favorite class. I confess that I may have said that to other classes as well. But I do not remember sharing as many meals or fond memories as I have with what I like to call Leo and company. I vividly remember Leo as a first-year student. Whenever I would call on him to answer a question, a look of sheer panic and terror would cross his face. I think that often we would both hold our breath in anticipation of what might come next. But then he would collect himself and answer the question calmly and in most cases correctly. I think surprising both himself and me in the process. Leo demonstrated early on that he understood that professionalism meant coming to class prepared. Leo taught by example what it means to be a great law student, being smart, working hard, showing up on time, meeting obligations, not making excuses, asking for help, working well with others, and being there for friends. This is what integrity looks like. As a second-year student, Leo served as an extern for the Honorable Terry Jackson, a judge in the San Francisco Superior Court. Judge Jackson interviewed me for my first legal job when she was a partner at the law firm of Orrick, Harrington, and Sutcliffe here in San Francisco. She is a lovely, lovely person, but as a former prosecutor, let's just say that her interviewing style was intense. Last year, I ran into Judge Jackson at an Orrick event. I asked her how things were working out with Leo. She paused, smiled, and said, "I love little Leo." That is professionalism and integrity in action. I will close with an observation shared with me by one of Leo's classmates. Leo is incredibly smart and is ranked at the top of our class, but he is humble and does not brag or boast about his success. Instead, Leo has become a pillar of the GGU community because of the way he gives back to his fellow students. Leo has been a TA for civil procedure and a leader of GGU's Connect program for incoming students. He has served as a board member on law review, has represented the school with pride during mock trial, and has been heavily involved in GGU's pro bono tax clinic. Leo will be successful in his career and beyond because of his charisma, his selflessness, and his strong moral compass. On behalf of the faculty and staff of Golden Gate University School of Law, I would like to personally congratulate Leo for earning this most outstanding award. We love you, Leo. At this time, I invite Professor Mark Yates to present the Paul S. Jordan Award.
This is so much fun. The Paul S. Jordan Achievement Award is named after a former professor and dean of the law school, and it's presented to the graduating student who has distinguished or exemplified herself through service and contribution to the school, its faculty and students. I am pleased to announce that we are presenting the Paul S. Jordan Achievement Award for Service and Contribution to Saleha Gori. Saleha? During her three years at our school, Saleha was an outstanding teaching assistant for torts, for civil procedure, and evidence. Her students consistently raved about her effectiveness and her commitment to their success. She participated in moot court and mock trial competitions, and she was such an integral part of our litigation program that she was recognized with an award for the most outstanding contribution to the Litigation Center. She was an active member of several student organizations and the president of the Sports and Entertainment Law Club. She is driven, ambitious, stubborn, and demanding, most of all, of herself. I remember her first year when she brought practice essays to me for feedback. I critiqued her work, and then she critiqued my critique. I was too nice, she told me. I tried to explain to her that I wasn't just saying the work was good, it really was. I don't want to know what's good about it, she said. I want to know what's wrong with it. I tried to be mean after that. But I don't want to give the wrong impression. Saleha is a serious student, to be sure, but she never takes anything too seriously. Whenever I run into her on campus, she is almost always laughing. Almost everybody around her is laughing as well. I learned that it's sometimes best not to ask why. She has the rare ability to see humor in almost everything. Many students say they want to be lawyers because they want to make a difference in the world. That's a good reason to be a lawyer, but I've always thought it misses the mark just a little. The question isn't whether we make a difference. Everybody is going to make a difference. The question is how we make a difference. What will our unavoidable, inevitable impact be? Saleha's impact has already been significant and positive. She helped countless other students. She was a tireless participant in our litigation program. She led student organizations. But more than that, she's enriched the environment at our law school. I doubt that anybody will remember their time here without hearing her laughter in the halls or sometimes in the classroom, or without some funny Saleha story to tell. All of this is why she was chosen by her peers in a landslide vote to receive this award. Congratulations, Saleha, it's well deserved.
No, I'm sure I'm not supposed to be up here, but as Nancy O'Malley just told us, when you get a chance, you got to take it. So I'm up here to say thank you to my classmates. When I woke up this morning, I immediately went to tears because I knew that I would be honored for this award today, and not because of what Professor Yates just said, but because you all voted for me. And that meant more than anything, because although I might have gotten this award for contribution and service, your contribution to my experience in law school has been anything but extraordinary. And I would be remiss if I didn't stand up here and thank my parents, who have instilled in me the inspiration and drive that I have here today, and probably a lot of the stubbornness that I have. I can remember when we were really young, we lived in a 2-bedroom home, and we took in a lot of people. I like to call it the orphanage, and we always were told that there is always enough to give to someone else, that you can always spare something. So my last contribution to us before we become graduates is remember that you always have enough to give to someone, especially your friends next to you. Congratulations and go Griffins.
We now move to the recognition of other students receiving academic awards. Each year, the faculty honor graduating students who best exemplify scholastic achievement and professionalism in academic subject areas and academic programs. I ask each of the following graduates to please stand at your seat when I call your name and remain standing until I've called all the names. I will ask audience members to hold your applause. We'll see how that works. First, the Academic Excellence Awards. For Academic Excellence in Corporate and Commercial Law, Jane Z. Ma. For Academic Excellence in Criminal Law, Daniela Layla Crownover. For Environmental Law, Phoebe Penelope Marcinick. For Family Law, Olivia Justine Porter. For International Law, Charmine Ahmed. For Labor and Employment Law, Angela Young. For Litigation, Bryce C. Bomber and Danielle Amanda Jones. And for Tax Law, Matthew Andrew Stevens. Next, 4 graduates are receiving the Scribes American Society of Legal Writers Award, 2 of whom are already standing, Charmine Ahmed, Veronica R. Cantillas, Olivia Justine Porter, and Jacob G. Reinhardt. And finally, the Outstanding LLM Student Awards are presented to Kelsey Lynn Coranto and Christian Billy Peter Schleicher. Please join me in congratulating all of these exceptional students for their impressive academic achievements. You may now take your seats. It is now my great pleasure to introduce to you the 2016 recipient of Golden Gate University School of Law's Honorary Doctorate of Law, Marjorie Randolph. Marjorie Randolph graduated from Golden Gate University School of Law in 1977. She went to law school at night and worked during the day as a customs broker. Marge went to law school at a time when not many women were applying to law school, and very few of those who did apply were being admitted. But at Golden Gate Law School, under the leadership of then Dean Judy McKelvey, women made up 40% of the student body. Given that this was not a typical path for most women at the time, how did Marge end up in law school? Well, due to a characteristic that is prevalent among lawyers. Marge has a little bit of a competitive streak. When she was still a student at Purdue University, her friends dared her to interview with Chase Manhattan Bank in New York City. She signed up, and the interviewer said to her, "We're looking for young men." She said, "I know." Nonetheless, they recognized her smarts as well as that competitive streak and accepted her into their management training program. After she married a Navy pilot, Marge and her husband ended up in California. Her husband took the LSAT, and when she saw his score, she thought, "I can do better than that." And she did. This then gave her the idea that perhaps she should go to law school. Having so many other women at Golden Gate Law School made the experience very exciting and rewarding. Marge vividly remembers Golden Gate Law School hosting the second National Women in the Law Conference, focusing on the theme of women, of the power of women. After law school, Marge became the senior vice president and senior counsel of Mervyn's, the California-based department store. She was later recruited to join Disney Feature Animation as senior vice president of human resources and administration in 1996. Disney was looking for a lawyer, and more importantly, someone who could shape the workforce and the workplace to allow creativity to flourish. I'd say she was successful, since we have all benefited from the creativity coming out of Disney. Marge brought both her legal expertise and her belief in the importance of creating a positive environment in the workplace that would also benefit the business. Marge retired from Disney in 2011. Marge also appreciates the value of service. She has been a valued member of the Golden Gate Law Deans Advisory Board since 2005. Indeed, she became great friends with Dean Judy McKelvey and led the planning conference for the 2012 Law Women's Reunion at Golden Gate Law School. She has been a member of the Board of Trustees for the Berkeley Repertory Theater, even serving as chair. She is passionate about mentoring and supporting young women and young lawyers. When she served as president of the California Women Lawyers Association, she worked to support having more women become judges. She has been a member of the National Advisory Panel of Stanford University's Institute for Research on Women and Gender. She has been a member of the International Women's Forum for many years and has sponsored a number of GGU women for membership with that organization. We are truly delighted to award Marjorie Randolph this honorary degree. Please join me in congratulating Marge Randolph and thanking her for her support of Golden Gate Law School.
Marjorie Randolph, in honor of your significant accomplishments and the depth of your dedication to Golden Gate University, I am pleased to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, with all the rights and privileges thereunto. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We will now be conferring the SJD, LLM, and JD degrees. Please remain seated during the conferral of degrees. We have a professional photographer here taking close-up shots of each graduate receiving their degree. I'd like to invite President of Golden Gate University, David Fike, and Professor Chris O'Keke to join me at the podium to present the SJD candidates.
Mr. President, I have the honor to present the candidates from the School of Law who have successfully completed the requirements for the degree of Scientia Juridicare Doctor. I therefore recommend that the candidates be awarded the degree for which they have qualified. Will the candidates please stand?
And now it's about to happen. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Golden Gate University, I confer upon you the degree, Scientiae Juridicae, with all the rights and privileges thereunto appertaining. Congratulations.